As a racer, I think the number one most intimidating and like terrifying and most nerve-wracking parts of the race is the start and like being on the gate, sitting there waiting to obviously go and actually start the race. Like I think that's the point where your heart's racing. Like there's been so many times where I'd be sitting on the gate and literally the thought came to my mind of like, "Oh my God, I can't do this." Like blah 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 blah. Like literally that thought came has come to mind numerous times because I was that nervous. Like with 41 other guys on the gate with you, it's freaking terrifying. And I don't know if this video will help or whatever. I just wanted to share my perspective here because this is something that's helped me a lot with getting over those nerves and stuff and kind of pushing through them, or better yet using them, because nerves and all of that is energy. Like it's literally it's energy within you, so it's best if you can basically use that energy to your advantage. And this is kind of how I've been able to do that. So hopefully this is helpful. If you don't know me, I'm Logan Lesser, a national motocross racer, having won over 15 state championships and an amateur national championship. I'm an extreme sports athlete and ran a marketing agency for over 4 years, growing it to $30,000 a month. And while doing so, was able to travel the world living in Cape Town, South Africa, part-time throughout the past few years. And I've spent nearly $50,000 on mentors, coaches, courses, and education, learning from the best of the best in business, fitness, mindset, racing, and so on. Now I'm sharing what I've learned and growing my community, the Champion Protocol, linked in the description below. So the reason that I say hopefully this is helpful is because this is more something that I've come to after experiencing everything that I have like throughout my life thus far, and especially just like doing a lot of other extreme sports, traveling the world, living in Cape Town, South Africa, building my business, like just a lot of things has kind of just led to a lot of the learnings and mental models and perspectives that I have on things, which definitely helps a lot. And it's definitely hard to instill those perspectives onto someone else when they haven't lived it. It's the same thing as someone saying like when you're throwing out water or something, or like, hey, there's kids in Africa who have to walk 5 miles to get water. Like in your head when you hear that, you're kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like it's true, but it doesn't really hit you very hard. Whereas when I actually went to Africa and I literally saw like on the highway when I was in the Uber on the way to my place, like you pass this area or just these areas which they're called townships, and basically it's just miles and miles of these metal sheds, like literally metal sheds just kind of put together, and just miles of them, and under the freaking blazing hot sun, and it's just made out of metal, and this is what these people are living in. And then literally it's right on the side of the highway. The fence that's like in between the highway and the townships is all broken and all this stuff, and then there's probably like 100 to 200 feet of sand and like some grass in between, or I should say weeds, in between the highway and the townships, or the fence I should say. And then I just saw a bunch of little kids running around playing playing soccer with a ball with they had no shirts on, they had no shoes on, they were just running around. There was literally goats and cows walking around, and this is literally along like the highway. So when you see it in person, it's like a completely different story, and it actually like hits you really hard. And I saw quite a bit of that down there. Like, don't get the wrong perspective. South Africa is amazing. Cape Town is amazing. Like, it's beautiful. And there are some really rich, wealthy, amazing areas. But obviously, just like anywhere in the world, you're going to have those areas that are a bit more, like that, where it's really tough. So, seeing that in person is very different. But that's kind of what's been given me, or that's what's given me a lot of these perspectives and everything. But getting to the point, one of the perspectives that I have now when I'm on the gate, and actually I raced Monday, and it was my first race of the year this year, literally my first race in like 7 months, and I had those nerves and stuff come when I was on the gate, and it had been a while since I felt that. But what's funny is that when I was in Cape Town, and just like in general when I've been just working at my computer and stuff on my business and all that, like there's been many times where I've missed the riding and missed the racing. But what's interesting is one of the main things that I missed was that feeling that I got while I was on the gate, because there's like no feeling like it. Like I don't get that feeling anywhere else. Like that just crazy amount of like nerves and adrenaline that's going through me. Like I don't get that from anything else. So missed that. And what's funny is that by missing that, when I got on the gate like this weekend, and then I even know I did this same thing at Minios, because this is something that I had thought of like a while ago, and this is a perspective that I've had for a little while now. But at Minios, I was definitely super nervous. Like I had a lot of nerves going through me. I was racing against factory guys and everything, and I had those nerves. But this same perspective came to mind, and basically what it was is you chose this. Like that's basically the thought that came to mind, and what I mean by that is I was working on my business. Like I've been sitting at my desk, or I've been in Cape Town just kind of sitting working day in day out, going down to Starbucks, riding my street bike to the WeWork office and working there basically all day, like not riding, not racing, not doing any of that. And I missed it, like I missed that feeling, that the adrenaline, which in the past, before I did all this stuff and did my business, and before I had any of these thoughts come to mind, and before I've gotten this new perspective or whatever, I always looked at those nerves and stuff as a bad thing. Like when I was on the gate, I would be so nervous and I'd be like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like I'm terrified, blah, blah, blah. Whereas now I look at it, and this is probably like the main point of the video. Now when I get those nerves and stuff, I'm like, sweet, like this is what I wanted. Like this is what I missed. Like this is why I want to do it, like one of the reasons, obviously, like not the reason. Like there's plenty of other reasons why I like racing and riding, but that is one of the ones that I thought of when I was working or when I was in Cape Town or whatever, that I missed. Was like, man, that feeling on the gate, that's just like your heart's racing, that adrenaline, the butterflies in your stomach, and you're just like, like you're nervous. And I miss that feeling. So now whenever I'm on the gate and I get that feeling, and I did a Minios way back when last year, and then I did it literally Monday, where on the gate, like I got those feelings and I was like, sweet, like this is what I wanted. Like I chose this. Like I chose to come back to racing because I wanted this feeling, because I missed this feeling. So now I kind of look at it as a good thing. And then in terms of converting it to energy, like that's probably kind of a different subject, but basically I remember hearing a long time ago, those nerves, I think I heard it in a movie or something, but basically those nerves and everything, like all of that is energy, so it's actually a good thing. Like you want that stuff, like you want those nerves and everything. Like it's better to feel that than to feel completely kind of just, relaxed. I mean, arguably, like maybe it is better to feel calm and relaxed and everything. However, there is an argument to be made that it's good to feel all those nerves and that like stress and anxiety that you're feeling when you're about to, race and everything. Because if you can instead look at it as a good thing and be like, and kind of use it as energy and be like, all right, sweet, like we've got a lot of energy, we're ready to go, like let's do this. When you look at it that way, then you can use it to your advantage instead of kind of letting it overpower you and kind of do what I used to do, where I'd be like, oh my God, I don't know if I could do this. Like I'd be so nervous. And then once I actually went off the gate and the race started, like I would still be so nervous, and I let those feelings kind of overpower me. So then I would almost freeze while I was out there. And like the first half of the race, I'd literally kind of be out there just super timid, super tense, super tight, and not riding very well at all. And then once I kind of got into the race and everything, usually I'd loosen up a little bit, but by that point it was too late. I'd already gotten passed by a bunch of guys. So what, like if I was capable of say getting like top 5 or whatever, and I'm in 10th or 15th now, like the top 5 guys are so far ahead of me, it'd be impossible for me to catch them at that point. So that's just the importance, I'd say, of being able to use that energy to your advantage versus letting it overpower you. But that's probably a topic for another video, but at least there's a little idea or concept that you can food for thought. But regardless, I think I'll just wrap this up by just saying, like, just look at kind of how you view things. I think that's probably the main thing. Like, just look at how you view things, and instead of looking at it as necessarily a negative, like, look at it as a positive, And more specifically, like, going to the racing, when I'm on the gate and stuff, like, obviously I have the perspective because I'm looking back at when I was in Cape Town, and I absolutely loved it. Like when I was there, I absolutely loved what I was doing and stuff, but I did miss racing. Like I was working all day, I was enjoying it, but I did miss that feeling that I got from racing. So then now that I'm like, when I'm back at a race and I get that feeling, I'm like, sweet, this is what I've been missing. Like this is what I wanted. So I look at it as a good thing. Whereas in the past, I would look at it as a negative. So in your case, maybe you used to do a different sport and now you race motocross or you do something else that's a bit more extreme, and you get these feelings and everything and you're so nervous and stuff. Well, maybe instead just look at it as like, sweet, like this is why I wanted to do this sport, is because nothing else gives me this feeling. Like this is exactly what I wanted. Like this is why I chose to do this, you know? So like you could look at it that way. Or I mean, this could really apply to anything, but it really just comes down to your perspective on it. And if you can look at it from a different angle and specifically look at it as like, I chose this, like I'm feeling this way because I chose to and I wanted to do this. And then maybe just figure out like why you chose that and like why you wanted to feel this way. And then once you're able to figure that out, then it's kind of like it completely shifts it from, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like, I don't know if I can do this. It shifts it to like, sweet, like this is exactly what I wanted. Like I'm feeling exactly the way that I wanted to and why I chose to do this, you know, because nothing else gives me this feeling of adrenaline and everything. So yeah, so hopefully that was helpful. That's just kind of my new perspective that I have and something that helps me specifically when I'm on the gate with the nerves and everything. So, I mean, I can apply it to really any part that or anything that I'm feeling nervous about or whatever, but specifically I was just thinking about the gate. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, then feel free to subscribe. And by the way, if you're a racer or athlete, definitely check out my online program and community linked in the description below. Got a ton of like deep in-depth mindset stuff in there, fitness, just a killer community of elite athletes who want to level up and get better and better. So overall, really kick-ass program and community, so definitely check it out. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Peace.